Hello friends. Well, here we are in the middle of summer, beginning of August, and generals say summer's already half over. It is, but it's been a good summer, and I hope you've had time with your family, friends to take a staycation in Manitoba, time to relax, time to rest, just to power down and so as to start up again in the fall. Myself, I'm actually going to have a rest, and that's a little bit, it's imposed upon me if you want. I'm getting a knee replacement, but that'll be real rest, relaxation, slowing down. So it'll work well. It'll work well. And so one of the things, though, that isn't slowing down this summer, actually picking up speed a bit, is the number of COVID cases, active COVID cases, certainly in Manitoba, certainly in the other western provinces, probably even across Canada. And we're going, is this the second wave? And when we use this term second wave, we have almost a sense that it's going to be like a second tsunami hitting us. But I actually don't think there's going to be a big second wave. There's going to be waves of different intensity coming and going, in part dependent on, for sure, how people seriously take up the measures of safety, of public safety, of public health, and do it. And so we see that, we loosen up things, people going to restaurants and bars, and people going here, too many on the beach, too many on the hiking trail, and suddenly it spikes up a bit. So then the public health officers have to, pull back the reins a little bit. So it's a back and forth. And that might really then feed into what we call COVID fatigue. Fatigue about, yes, having to be socially distant from one another or having to wear a mask. But there's also then the fatigue of simply the fact of COVID still being around, and when's it going to end? And not at all sure. Not at all sure. And so, there can be a bit of fatigue. But what gives me hope is actually what I've seen over the last 4 months, if you wish, since COVID began in mid-March. For a couple months and a bit, I celebrated Sunday Mass every Sunday at Saint-Martyr for live streaming. Now I'm doing it at Holy Cross. And just to see how those two parishes, in different ways, but had really organized it so that their parishioners coming, it had been communicated to the parishioners how things were, what they would see when they came. And so the parishioners, in ever-increasing numbers as allowed, came and were secure, felt a sense of safety, and then could, celebrate with more peace in their heart, could have a sense of community that wasn't filled with fear about the other person next 6 feet away. And that was really wonderful to see. And I want to take the occasion at this point, even as we're getting a few numbers and we have to then become a little more careful once again, of all the people in all of our parishes who really have gone above and beyond in their efforts to assure the continuation of their parish, but especially to help their parishioners, and perhaps especially the elderly or those more isolated. In every parish, there's been a leadership that has come forth and that has seen, okay, with what we've been given by public health and what the diocese has encouraged us to do, how are we going to organize that? And in parish after parish after parish, it's happened. It's happened. And of course, it's happened best where there's been a strong team spirit between the pastor and a certain group of lay people, subcommittee of the parish council, or however, but where there's really been a team effort of coming to decisions, of being of the same mind as what are the basis for those decisions, where do we get our information from, what are valid sources, and how will we communicate it. And where there's been that team spirit, it's just really heartening to see that. And so I thank all of you. There's so many of you that have been part of this effort. I also, over the last few months, have seen efforts that have come, I'm going to say, from the grassroots, that not directed from, the top, but really just springing up in face of the need. Religious congregations, and in particular certain sisters of those congregations, saying, well, we have time. We have time to listen and to pray with and to encourage. And so a telephone hotline was set up. I'm thinking of the Catholic School of Evangelization. Their camps are normally residential camps. The kids come Sunday and they leave Friday. That wasn't going to happen this year. But that didn't stop them. The team there thought, okay, what is possible? And so they're doing day camps in parishes. So instead of the kids coming to Saint-Malo, the teams, there's 2 of them, are going out to parishes. And it's been a huge success, camps filled every time of the different ages. I'm thinking of St. Alphonsus and principal and school staff and the school board working and coming up with how to gather food for the Winnipeg harvest, and that being the example, the motivation to do it at the level of the diocese, especially the urban parishes, for our several native communities within our diocese. This morning I was talking to people of Share Development and Peace about the Share Lent collection, which obviously didn't happen, was postponed in late March, early April. And so the question, how this fall can the educational effort about the poor, the struggling in the world, especially in this time of pandemic, how to assure safety, health security there, even basic things like water, and how we can support that, and knowing that the numbers are less at the church, so let's really present the advantage of direct deposits and help people to get on that. But what I'm saying is all of these creative efforts to be there for others. And because I've seen it so often in so many ways, some quite well organized in parishes and with the help of the diocese, some just springing up. Even though we're getting the little waves lapping back and forth, I'm confident. And so I want to say thank you especially to all the people that have stepped forward, because among others, as I learn of this and this and this and this, I'm really strengthened in my own hope and in my own confidence that God is truly present and at work amongst his people. So let's carry on with God, carry on together. And once again, thank you for all the people in our parishes and elsewhere who have stepped forward. Thank you. Have a good rest of the summer.